The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.
What time is it?
There is nobody that holds a candle to the king.
You know, I wouldn't be opposed to, maybe you build some tag teams here.
We are the absolute best tag team of all time, bar none, the greatest tag team of all time.
Jay White's going to be a star, no matter where he goes.
I'm going to be the guy that spits in the face of cliches. I'm going to be the guy that tells time to off.
Man, what in the world is Joe doing? Just standing. And then I thought to myself, maybe he just likes Jericho's music as much as I do.
SmackDown has always been the better show. 04, 05, 06. SmackDown was a better show then. SmackDown is a better show now. Look at what happens in the women's division. I guarantee you, we can take the same women that Raw has, put them on SmackDown, and they will flourish. The same thing with any superstar.
Well,
SmackDown's land of opportunity.
04, 05, 06, okay, SmackDown the conversation. What about 09, 10, 11? Was SmackDown better then?
No, it wasn't. I thought it went through a huge slump, and I'm not sure what happened, but you had the Halcyon days, the heyday of the mid-2000s, and I think you have that again right now. I think SmackDown is head and shoulders a better show.
Ladies and gentlemen, wrestling to the mat.
And your hosts, Gary Vaughan, Sean Garmer, and Paul Leazar.
Welcome, everyone, to Wrestling to the Max, episode 246, part 1. And we are here brought to you by W2Mnet.com. That's right, the place you come find all your great wrestling content when it comes to this podcast, plus a lot more. Great website. You need to go check it out if you love wrestling, if you love sports. Heck, if you love video games and entertainment, it's the place to be. Also, don't forget to go subscribe to Wrestling to the Max if you want to get everything that we have to offer. And if you want everything W2M Net has to offer, make sure you go subscribe to the W2M Network. That'll give you everything our great network has. And, of course, trust me, everything under the sun, everything you probably love. I am your host, Gary Vaughan. Of course, with me is Mr. Paul Leazar.
Heyo.
And Mr. Sean Garmer.
What's going on, everybody?
And, guys, tonight, we got a lot of great wrestling talk. Of course, we're going to be jumping into some of these big news topics like, Braun Strowman being injured. We even have another reoccurrence of a certain diva, or women's wrestler. I know I'm still saying diva, but I still consider her a diva because she's never around, only on the Diva show, I think, mainly. But anyway, we got one of those. Plus, we also got some other things. We got some people coming over to NXT and a lot more interesting stuff in the world of wrestling. You guys are not going to want to miss this. Plus, we're also going to talk some Ring of Honor. That's right, the other TV tapings. And we're going to talk War of the Worlds. That's right, that's coming. Trust me, Ring of Honor wanted you to know about it. They beat you over the head about it. So we're going to beat you over the head about it just by giving you a quick preview and giving you our predictions and thoughts. But, before we jump into all that, I got to sit here and say I was not on a Raw review. I know that's kind of unusual. I'm usually on most of the Raw reviews. But tonight I had to take the night off. I actually went and saw the new Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 movie. I've been kind of waiting around to see it, and this is the best night that it would really fit my schedule, so I did do that, and thank goodness for Paul and Sean covering for me and doing a great job on the Raw review. But, guys, I think all of us have seen this movie, right? And, Paul, you saw it as well, right?
Yeah, I saw it on Sunday.
You saw it Sunday. Okay, so wow. So we've all pretty much seen it. So I think it's time for us to break this thing down and kind of just say what we liked about it. I mean, in my personal opinion, I had pretty good thoughts coming out of it. I was a big fan of it. I mean, that soundtrack. I mean, it was everything to me.
I don't want YouTube getting us strikes right now.
No, I was talking over it. So as you talk over it, All right, we'll cut it down. But anyway, no, as you know, you really enjoy these movies. It's usually about some of the great characters and things like that. But Guardians of the Galaxy has such a great, think about the whole music from the 70s and all of that. So that was something super special to me. I didn't even listen to the soundtrack before actually watching the movie. I felt like it would ruin the movie for me. So I was pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed the soundtrack pretty well. Part one, I think, really gave me a little bit more excitement with music. But overall, this was a kind of just a funny, just entertaining joyride all the way through. I really enjoyed myself. I mean, I don't know, Paul, what did you think about it?
I enjoyed the movie very much. I don't think it was as good as the first one, but it was a very different film. It was trying to accomplish a lot of different things. But its pacing and its structure wasn't as firm nor as good as I think the first one was, and that kind of hurt it a little bit. But it was trying to do so much to establish new people and really trying to give you a new sense of not only the characters, but of everything, like of that galaxy that they sort of live in, and I think they did a good job of that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Sean, I mean, I know you're big into music, but there's also some great cameos involved here. We have Sylvester Stallone, Kurt Russell is, Ego. That's amazing. What did you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, I did listen to the soundtrack plenty before I watched the movie, and it was... It actually made me excited, so I would go for when it's something like that, and it's the music fits the movie right so well. I think you can get the opposite too on that end. The Sylvester Stallone plays an important character, so I don't want to spoil stuff for what could happen down the line, but it's cool to see him actually be part of this thing, and it makes sense. You could see him playing that role. That's cool. Kurt Russell also was really good. I enjoyed him being the villain, so he's making a little comeback this and Fast and the Furious. He's getting there. Get back to Kurt Russell dominating movies again. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Paul. Look, I think there's a little bit of the first one is better overall as a movie. I think this one is different in that, you're having to learn so much about some of the more minor characters. Even though a guy like Yondu was one of the original Guardians, so it's not like he's totally minor, but it's cool to get to learn more about him. It's cool to get to learn about Mantis and the mom. You get to learn about the mom. So I mean it's like a cool it's more well-rounded as far as what it tries to do. Just maybe tries to do a little bit too much. But it's still a really, really enjoyable movie. Well worth the price tag to go see it. So if you're, one of those that, I might wait till DVD. Now, definitely, I think you might want to go to the theater and see this one. I had a good time.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And it's something that I think works so well on the big screen. Sure, it's going to be great when you go and, go to your friend's house and watch it or, buy it for yourself. But honestly, I mean, I think this is a production that it's so much when it comes to eye candy, the, just the ambience and the music and all that. So I would just be remiss to, to tell people that, it's okay. But I think really it is worth your time to go check it out and see and just enjoy yourself. And trust me, lots of great humor and, lots of cool stuff. So
yeah, Batista steals the show again on the humor.
Yeah, I know. It's quite hilarious at some parts with him in this one. So Batista, man, I mean, his career is just going up and up when it comes to the acting. I'll tell you that. But yeah, we don't want to ruin anything for anybody. I know we talked quite a bit about the movie, but not really giving any certain details, and that's what I wanted to do. So from us, I mean, it's worth a try. Go check it out this week whenever you get an opportunity.
At least you can know that you look good on the inside.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I often think of this song, and then when he said that, I thought of this song. There used to be a song back in the day singing about making an ugly woman your wife. You ever heard of that song? Don't make a beautiful woman your wife.
But now I'm interested.
I'll find the song for you. I cannot remember the name of the artist, but he says, if you make a beautiful woman your wife, she won't stay around. If you make an ugly woman your wife, she'll stay around and do everything with you and for you. So it's funny. I don't agree with the song because my wife is beautiful, so I didn't go by that song. But,
Well, yeah. I mean, I think he had the message is sort of, how old is this song anyway? Like,
it's back in the 60s. It's 60s.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
In general, you can see that. I think it's not necessarily so literal, but he's it's interesting this concept of all that. But
yeah, I'll look up the song.
Yeah.
We'll figure it. But anyway, enough about music, enough about movies.
Entertainment to the max for the first 10 minutes.
I know.
Again.
No, but I know at least it's relevant, right? At least we didn't do our Guardians talk, and 3 weeks after the movie's been over,
right?
So, there you go. But let's talk wrestling. This is what we're here to do, and I'm really excited about it. So let's go ahead and jump in. Let's do some quick hits now.
It's time for wrestling news. Quick hits.
All right, guys. Well, let's start this thing off by talking about a sad passing of a wrestler. We had Gran Apache pass away, and he's a famous Lucha Libre legend. He passes away at the age of 58, excuse me. And this is somebody I really don't know a lot about. I mean, Paul, you're probably going to have to refresh my memory. I'm not really familiar with him. Maybe I am.
I don't think Gran Apache ever did much in the States, to my knowledge. He did, however, do a lot of work in Japan in the mid-90s when Lucha Libre sort of faltered. He's probably best known for being the head of the Apache family. His daughters wrestle. The woman he married wrestled as well. And he got... The best way to put it is they sort of transcended the sport a little bit with the same way that the McMahons did, right? They had a lot of family feuds, and it was a lot of family drama that you would see in soap operas that really crossed over with a lot more people than just wrestling fans. So sort of a big deal for that, and well regarded as one of the best Lucha Libre trainers in the world as well. So big loss for that community, who has taken a ton of hits recently. They've had 4 people, very famous luchadors, die on them in the past month, it seems like. So it's bullet after bullet.
Jeez, that is just so sad. Man. Sean, are you familiar with him? I mean, like I said, I don't know much about the guy.
I think I know more about some of his other family members than him, personally. Just, he's the figurehead of the Apache family, like Paul said, and it's just sad to see. I mean, again, like 56, 58, that's not that old. It sucks to hear that he's gone on. I mean, he's got a huge legacy to leave behind, and of course all the people in his family still wrestling right now, so AAA will certainly be mourning that loss. I'm sure at whatever shows they're doing here rather soon. This is again, it sucks, man. It feels like 2017, another year of wrestlers going.
They're lucky at WrestleMania they don't do a video package of all the wrestlers that passed away, the previous year. That would be like a 25-minute video. It's just, this is so sad. But yeah, I mean, best wishes and prayers.
Well, they need to do it at the Slammies.
Yeah, Slammies would be better, right? Yeah. Oof. But hey, maybe that'll help us. Maybe it'll take some of that stuff off Raw that we don't need to see at the Slammies. So I don't think they do the Slammies yet. They didn't do the Slammies last year. If I'm not right, I can't remember it. I don't think they did one.
I don't recall it, but it also could have been so garbage that we just forgot about it already.
Yeah, that's probably true too, Paul. You're probably right on. It's awful. Something else that's awful, and that's Ember Moon not being a part of NXT Chicago. Yeah, that's right. I mean, we were really looking forward to this fatal 4-way at Chicago and really getting excited about that, but now it's going to be a triple threat because Ember Moon has injured her shoulder, and this is caused her to be out for quite a while. So this is a kind of a sucky thing because I think a lot of us might have been kind of looking at her as being, possibly the one that finally beat Asuka. We don't know that, but, probably one of the favorites, I'd say. Sean, I mean, this is a bummer. I kind of hate that's happened to her.
Yeah, it totally sucks. I mean, they just had announced the Fatal 4-Way, and then all of a sudden, over the weekend, it's not happening. She's injured. She can't be on the show. And that really sucks, because you could have seen maybe that be Ember's time to get the win. She wouldn't have had to pin Asuka. She could have gotten the title by pinning somebody else, and you could still have the Asuka and Ember feud go on,
Mm-hmm. I feel like if they were going to do a title change with Asuka, it's going to be one-on-one, so that way you would have at least a cleaner and more straightforward transition as to who the next lady to be running that division is going to be. And there's no real reports on how serious the injury is, so hopefully it's not so much that it keeps her out long-term that she misses Brooklyn, but certainly does stink for her missing this opportunity to be in a real big marquee match on the show.
Do you think it... I don't know. We haven't watched this next week's NXT or, got past this, that we do know that she's injured and not going to be a part of that show. But looking at this matchup now, it's about Ruby Riott. It's about Nikki Cross, who they're having their own little feud. They're kind of, besides being beat up by Asuka, not really in a feud with her per se. So now, to me, this kind of feels a little unbalanced in a way. I hope that they can kind of balance this out again. That's just the way I look. I don't know if you guys feel the same way.
I mean, Nikki still had all the issues brimming over still from their last match that they had at a takeover, and even though it kind of got cooled off on because of what they were doing with Ruby Riott, like that's all still there. That never really got settled. Asuka just sort of survived. So I mean, they can bring all that back up again and work her in as much as they want to, especially now that they have a bit of a clearer direction. I don't know how long it's going to take for them to get past the tapings, and if we're even going to even get anything post Ember Moon injury to sort of help build the show, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, very true. And if this is past the point of where they really can not announce it as a fatal 4-way, and then you had to wait to Chicago to find out that she's not going to be a part of the show, we could kind of see a situation where Ember Moon is beat up by Asuka backstage or something like that, I'm assuming. But we'll find out. I mean, I really hope if they do have some tapings between now and then or have a way to showcase it, I really do hope they kind of rekindle a little bit of that heat between Asuka and Nikki Cross, or even make some more heat between her and Ruby Riott. Just let's balance this thing out, if you ask me. Let's talk about another lady that's currently injured, and this is another sad story because she's been injured a lot in her recent history, and it's really plagued her since she's been on the main roster in WWE, and that is, of course, Emma. Apparently, she has a shoulder injury as well. Now, the severity of it is still up in the air, just kind of like Ember Moon. We don't know. On her Twitter, she did say that she's just kind of unlucky, so maybe we're looking at something where it's just kind of short term, but man, I can't get over this. I mean, Paul, we're looking at another injury for Emma. I mean, this is scary for her in her career, if you ask me.
Most of her injuries have been sort of spread out across her body. It's not like she continually injures one thing. Like you said, on Twitter, she just said she was a bit unlucky, so it doesn't sound incredibly serious to me. So we could be in another short-term situation where she's out maybe a month or two, and and then come back. But it's not like her and Dana was moving the dial any.
Yeah, but I mean, it was another women's feud you could have on the show, and it was still kind of developing their past relationship or whatever into something else. So I'm always for that, developing more of the characters, getting something else going on Raw besides the same thing we see every week. So it sucks for her. She needed to get back in the swing of things, and right when she does, bam, she's out again. Hopefully it's not too serious, because I hate to see her go down.
Yeah, for sure. That is it's just a bummer because of the fact, like we talked about. I mean, she has been injured off and on, and maybe it's spread out, but it just feels like she's never getting healthy. It seems like she cannot get a run and stay on her feet and make things happen and get a storyline, a feud, anything going for a long period of time without being on that sideline. So hopefully she can overcome that. Let's talk about a guy, though, that is surprisingly going to be on the sidelines, and that is Braun Strowman. He's been a guy that's been a huge part of Raw. We've seen him do quite a bit as of late and been a real big focal point in everything that they're doing. But now we're getting word that, he's got an elbow injury, and that's going to keep him out for quite a bit as well. So, I mean, looking at this, Sean, once again, a great wrestler, a guy that is, great talent, if you want to say it that way. But now out, and, we'll be missing him for a while. What do you think about this?
We talked about this on Raw. It sucks big time, because he's been one of the brighter spots of Raw every week. He's funny just in the way he does certain things. He is a guy that WWE is pushing big time, and it just I really hate it, and it puts WWE in a conundrum with what do you do with Roman Reigns? Do you just have him off the show completely until after Extreme Rules, and what do you do with him after that?
Yeah, this is really poorly timed on all accounts, because now you're going to have to miss Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman Extreme Rules, which was looking like it was going to be geared up to be a big match. And it leaves Raw missing a lot of their top guys with Brock out right now, and Roman's still hurt in storyline, so they have to sort of figure out how they're going to play that out now, and Braun's out, and everybody else is sort of spoken for, so it's a giant mess at the top of the card for Raw, and that's very unfortunate.
Yeah, I think, we won't probably have too much about, this situation, as they kind of go on until, they're able to get him back in the mix. But I just hate to see it because, like we've talked about, he's been a huge focal point on Raw. He's had a lot of momentum going for him. But, hopefully it'll be sooner than later that he's back. The projection for now is 4 to 6 weeks. And looking at that, let's just hope closer to the 4, give him a month off, let him get to where he needs to be and get him back going. And I think that's at least positive compared to what it could be. We've seen guys be out 4 to 6 months. So at least it's not that, right? So, talking about, all this stuff going on, there's a lot of changes, happening in the world of WWE alone, besides the world of wrestling. And right now we're getting word that WWE's UK show that'll be taking place will have their announced team, and that announced team will be Nigel McGuinness, like we all figured, but Jim Ross will be the other guy involved in that. And that's kind of an interesting thing. I think he's a guy that I think would be a really cool, draw to that show. But not only that, it's interesting to see him hop over from Access TV when his deal's done over there, and now to start calling some UK wrestling. And, once again, I think it'll also bring some of those fans that, may not care to watch the show. Maybe bring them over to watch good old JR. I don't know. How do you feel about this whole thing, Sean?
I think it's great. Give him a regular gig. Give him something that he can really sink his teeth into in WWE. I like it. it's, hopefully you get a little mix of the old JR with. I saw somebody mention in our group the old JR with a European King. So I'm fine with that. I think Nigel will work well with him, and it'll bring a certain flair to the UK show, make it feel important.
It should be mentioned too that their commentary is going to be put in post production. They weren't over there during the tapings to do it live, so that might be something to keep in mind for this. But this is very cool, especially for Nigel, who probably, I don't know if he ever dreamed of being a commentator someday, but I mean, you get to work with one of the best the business has ever seen now, and that's kind of cool. And JR isn't the same that he used to be, but I enjoy him calling New Japan just because he's a very straightforward call guy for that. So it'd be interesting to see what he brings to the UK show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Jim Ross is, like I said before, a great guy, and he's a lot of fun to check out because you remember all those good old days with, JR doing Raw and such, and now you feel like, oh man, I get to finally have him back, and he's doing something for WWE. It's kind of cool, especially if you're not a New Japan fan. You don't know much about his work on Access TV, in which trust me, it's awesome. I think he does a great job. He may be a little up there in age, but I think what he does here in the UK show will be great. Really looking forward to seeing it, and not only that, he's a guy that really takes his craft serious, and so expect his best work. But yeah, I mean, this is really cool. Let's talk about something else that's kind of cool and what's, going to be happening here in the near future. Of course, like we always talk about, there's, new talent influxing in and out of NXT. And we have someone that, that's been a part of Stardom that we've kind of hinted here and there could be a part of NXT pretty soon. But now we're hearing that Kairi Hojo has been revealed that she'll be leaving Stardom pretty soon here. So that means we could expect her possibly for that big women's tournament that'll be taking place in the near future. Paul, this is good news.
Yeah, I mean, we've known that Kairi is signed for a while now. It's only just now that she's sort of given everybody a date, and nothing concrete that I found. She's just sort of said, hey, I'm leaving Stardom soon, and getting ready, I assume, for that tournament, much like some of the other signings that WWE has done with women who have been sort of still finishing up independent dates. So cool to see Kairi coming over. It'll be really interesting to see how they decide to use her post-women's tournament, because I'm sure that's what she's going to be here for, and probably one that goes deep in that tournament.
Yeah, I think definitely what Paul said. We've known for a while. She was a great wrestler. She's going to give. I would imagine she goes really far in the women's tournament, and we'll see what they decide to do after that.
Yeah, for sure. And, if you're really wondering about this women's tournament, and you keep hearing us talk about it all the time, there is a scheduled date for this. They'll be, taping shows in July for the tournament, and the finals will be in August. So be looking forward to that. That'll be airing live in August. So that'll be something, super special. It will not be pre-taped, so that's kind of cool, too. I really appreciate that part of it as well. But yeah, that's all our quick hits for this week. We've had some interesting ones here, but now we are going to move on, and we are going to talk some Ring of Honor. Let's do it and do that right after this, guys.
All right.
Ring of Honor opens this week with the tag team title match that got set up last week by the Young Bucks as they defend the championships against the squad of Kenny and Mikey, who you're probably more familiar with as the Spirit Squad. We get a fine match here. It's nothing overly special. I think the squad has some nice double team moves here and there, but this is never going to go their way, and the Young Bucks get another title defense under the belt as they take this one home with the Meltzer driver.
This is all about entertaining the crowd, right? I mean, it's fun to see the Spirit Squad on Ring of Honor TV, trust me. Especially since you just saw those guys on WWE, I think it was Raw, I found out Raw was a
SmackDown.
SmackDown. Thank you. I cannot remember. But it was at least that, they were part of WWE television not long ago. So they're fresh in your mind watching Ring of Honor. It's kind of a cool little thing. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad at least they gave him some time. I know it wasn't valuable for anything when it comes to the category of wrestling itself, but entertainment-wise, it's kind of cool that they gave those guys an opportunity to be more than one segment on this show. And I think it was kind of neat that, the Young Bucks kind of played around a little bit here and gave us some comical stuff. And then at the end of the day, you get your melted drive, everybody claps, yay, good job. So it did the job right. It did what it needed to do. It entertained the crowd, and you get to see some of your favorite things as the Young Bucks do. So I was pretty happy with seeing that.
Yeah. Matt Taven gets some promo time to hype up his world title match against Christopher Daniels on May 10th. Then the Briscoes talk about their upcoming 6-man title defense against the Rebellion, which will be happening at some point in time because there's no official date that I saw. And then we move on to this match with Punishment Martinez and the Beer City Bruiser. This was not very good. The crowd wasn't into it. The guys are just sort of out there doing moves. They hit all their big stuff in no particular order. Martinez goes to do his corner dive. He almost kills himself. It's a bit of a giant mess and one that's... I mean, both guys should be commended because they did work hard, but there's nothing really to sink your teeth into. Martinez gets the win with the choke slam, and we sort of move on.
It just kind of shows there are guys that just don't work well together. They just don't. And Beer City Bruiser, he can be entertaining, but he's really not usually the greatest focal point. And that's why he's so great with Silas Young. And I'm not hating on just him. I think both these guys kind of had something to do with this not being that great. Mm-hmm. I'm a huge Punisher Martinez fan, trust me. And I'd love to sit here and gloat and say it's not his fault. But, he had his work in here. It just was not all that inspiring. I don't think either guy was inspired by doing this match itself. So it is what it is. It wasn't that great. But, Martinez winning is the right decision. But not only that, I mean, we continue to build on what he's doing here. And I think that's important. I think they really need to work on keeping him going and building who he is. Because if they wanted to use him later on and especially in the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship scene, they need to keep this up and do some things with him, even if it's just for the TV title. But, I mean, happy with the win for Martinez, but outside of that, Paul, you're exactly right. Not much of a match. You just kind of ho-hum through the whole thing,
Yeah, I mean, I was just surprised at the length, too, especially when they saw that this wasn't going well and that the guys didn't really try to accommodate that or anything. It's just shocking. You usually see a lot better quality work from Ring of Honor.
Yeah, you're right. And you know what? Honestly, at points of this, I started setting up my DVR for the week. Mm-hmm. Because I was like, oh, God, this is nothing. So I was really more interested in listening to the commentary. So maybe that's what they were thinking of when they were like showcasing this the whole way through. Maybe they're like, oh, the commentary is not bad if you're listening to it, but what you're seeing is not as great.
Right. Marty Scurll gets some promo time to talk about Matt Sydal ahead of his TV title match coming up at the War of the Worlds pay-per-view. Adam Cole reaffirms that everything is A-OK with the Bullet Club before their big tag team match here as he teams up with Cody to take on Dalton Castle and Christopher Daniels. I thought this was a really fun match. You get a lot of nice build. Cody Rhodes and Daniels worked the ending segment, which I thought was really good. I think both these guys would be awesome together in a one-on-one match. So hopefully that happens somewhere down the road. And they end up sort of playing the faces here, does the Bullet Club, as Cody accidentally hits Cole with his disaster kick. Cole walks away in frustration. Later comes back and surprises Daniels with the super kick and a last shot. And that gets the Bullet Club the victory as they walk out victorious. And Jay Lethal, who was out on commentary, comes down and helps Daniels up to his feet and confronts him about his decision to add Cody to their matchup, making a triple threat, which Lethal was not a fan of. They get into a huge argument. Out comes Cody, who attacks both of them from behind. Lethal starts fighting back, though, and hits a double lethal injection on both Cody and Daniels to send us home towards the pay-per-view. Like I said, I thought this was a solid main event. It does a lot of great work towards not only working towards the main event but of the pay-per-view, but sort of keeping that Bullet Club story going, which is very much the top of the card.
Yeah, and that story really has been interesting all the way through, right? And they have focused on it, and they've even had episodes where they subtly focus on it, but I think it still keeps your interest. And you still want to know where Adam Cole stands with the club, even though he just may come and get a little, 3-minute to 5-minute little video package of him talking to the club and of course, talking to the Young Bucks. You still wonder, is he really on the outs with those guys? Are they going to come and attack him? All that great stuff. So I appreciate this, and I appreciate the fact that they kind of show him still working for the club and really, trying to help in their best interest. So that kind of gives you an idea what's going on with Adam Cole. I think you still have that doubt in the back of your mind, though, about what's going to happen with Adam Cole. So I love it. I think it's, like Paul just mentioned, one of the best parts, storytelling-wise, for Ring of Honor at the current time.
Mm-hmm.
And its match itself was pretty good. I mean, but how can you go wrong? All these guys are super talented. Not really, something that I think, is a 5-star or anything, but I think it gives you what you need to get, and that's some, pretty great wrestling out of it. And, there you go. I mean, the one thing I will say is, once again, I'm so happy to see Jay Lethal at least gets to look strong in some of this. And that makes me happy, too, because I kind of was getting a little nervous when he was kind of out of grace, but now that he's getting to do even, some of these, kind of fun little things to pop the crowd, I think it's cool, too.
Yeah, I mean, with talent leaving ROH and new ones coming in here or there, it's important to make sure that your cornerstone and Jay Lethal continues to at least look strong, even if he's not going to be the champion. So, totally agree with all of you on that there. But now we gotta preview this War of the Worlds card. So let's go ahead and jump straight into that. First match on the card as Bobby Fish takes on Dalton Castle, Kushida, and Silas Young in a 4-way survival. I wager this will be a lot of fun. I don't really have a clear head as who's going to win this. I'll say Silas, but that's more personal want than anything.
Ooh, you like Silas Young here. Is he starting to warm up on your heart, Paul?
I've been a big Silas fan since the first time I got to see him in Ring of Honor. So.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I wasn't aware of that as much. I mean, we talk Silas Young all the time. You just really never show, I guess, a super amount of affinity towards him. But of course, you're a little bit more passive. I think I go a little too geeky on my favorites. So I mean, fair enough. I love Silas Young too. I like all three of these guys. This is a winner. Is good for me all the way around. I don't care who wins, really.
Well, I know Kushida's probably not winning because of the storyline he's got going on. So,
okay.
I mean, his storyline is that he's been losing. So, I would assume one of the ROH guys is probably gonna win. I'll go with Dalton Castle for the surprise or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think Silas Young, it would really help him to win this. But heck, I'm going with Sean your way. I think Dalton Castle for me.
Yeah, I mean, all three of these guys are challenging for the championship, and someday I'm sure Kushida will get a decent little run here in Ring of Honor if they ever decide to go that way. Although with New Japan eyeing up America on their own right now, that might not come to pass. But next up on the card, Kazarian takes on Hangman Page in a grudge match. Who you got, Gary?
This is going to be really, really interesting. Hangman Page, has been, really threatening. And, Kazarian is a guy that has really been trying to prove a point, right? That he's going to do his own thing. That, they think, and what's funny, Paul, is they've not put this really in front of your face a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's kind of in the background so much on Ring of Honor TV. I kind of forgot about this, to be honest with you. I've got to go Hangman Page, though. It may not make sense, but I have a feeling there's some kind of swerve here where I feel like, Kazarian's going to get really close. The fans are popping for it, and then they switch bait on you, and Hangman wins.
What about you, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see something like that happening, but I'm going to go with a Kazarian.
I'm going to go with Gary and pick Hamian Page, too, just because from out of nowhere, he'll get these really big, sneaky wins that make you think Ring of Honor is about to do something with him, and then he just goes back to being the enforcer, sort of, for the Bullet Club over here in Ring of Honor. So I'd look for that surprise win here, too, but you never know, obviously, because this feud has been built on Kazarian outsmarting the Bullet Club at times, so maybe he'll find a way to do it again, but... after that, we have a three-way tag team match as the LIJ team of Sonata and Evil team up to take on Chris Sabin and Jonathan Gresham and War Machine. This could be something that could even lead to a match between War Machine and LIJ down the road for the titles, seeing as War Machine is your current IWGP Tag Team Champions. But Sean, who you got here?
God, I hope it does. Because the tag team title scene over there needs some help, and these are your two heavyweights in LIJ, so let's do this thing, New Japan. Let's make it happen. I'm gonna go with I think War Machine. They're the champs. You want to make them look strong. It's possible they do the sneaky LIJ pin War Machine, but I don't know. I think you want that on a New Japan show.
Yeah, I'm with you too on that. I kind of feel like it makes more sense on the New Japan show. I think War Machine, staying strong, looking good is never a bad thing. So I'm going with them.
I'm going to go the other way. They do sometimes like to do this sort of stuff on either show where a Ring of Honor guy will get a big win over at New Japan or the vice versa. So I think Sonata and Evil will pin War Machine to earn that title shot. After that, we get this sort of a dream match for me as Will Ospreay is going to take on Jay White one-on-one. Flippies galore. Jay does a really good job of sort of holding down the other side of the mat whenever he's on the opposite side of the ring with somebody who likes to do these flippies, as we've seen at Supercard of Honor and other opportunities as well. But who do you guys think will win this one? Let's go Gary.
Looking at this, this is going to look amazing. And Paul, I don't blame you for saying this is a dream match because it looks great on paper, and I really hope it lives up to every bit of that. I am going to go Jay Wyatt. I think Wyatt is a super talented guy. Ospreay has had some great matches, but I think it really works in Ring of Honor's best interest that Wyatt looks great here and gets the victory. So that's why I'm going.
Sean?
Uh-oh.
Okay, I'll go.
Sorry, I couldn't unmute my microphone. I hit the button and it would every other button was going except for that one. Because my volume buttons are up and down, and then my mute is left and the other thing is right. So it's if I don't have the finger in the right place, it's going to do something else. But anyway, nothing sexual there. So anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with Will Ospreay. I think, Jay White's still in that spot where, even though, plus you're gearing up for Best of Super Juniors, all that stuff, I think you want Will Ospreay looking strong because he certainly could be one of those guys that's in the final day conversation. This is going to be one of those matches where, Jay White's certainly going to get his moments where he looks like he's going to win, but Ospreay's going to get that final 3 count.
Yeah, I'm of the same mind as Sean is, too, with Will Ospreay getting the win here to look strong ahead of Best of the Super Juniors. Jay White, however, will impress. I continue to look forward to these matches to watch him hold it down with these guys, because these are going to be the guys he's going to be working with later this year or whenever he finds his way back to New Japan. So this is all a great experience for Jay. Adam Cole will take on Hiroshi Tanahashi. This has show stealer written all over. This could be absolutely incredible. I have no idea who to pick here, though.
The question is Cole's out of the company pretty soon here? When's his contract officially
His contract
up?
is already up.
So he's doing this out of just, payday to payday,
because he was already booked, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, this is a situation where he could be booked for more shows, just, we don't know that. That's hard for me to say. You know what? I'll say Tanahashi, even if it's shenanigans or something happens. I'll just go Tanahashi.
I'm going to say Tanahashi, too. You don't know what Cole's doing. It seems like his foot is out the door. Tanahashi is doing the six-man thing right now, but still he's a huge star in New Japan. I don't think you have him lose in a spot like this here.
I think it would be really interesting for Tanahashi to win because the Bullet Club ends up ducking up some interference on Cole's behalf or something like that and leads to a bit of a blow-up. But I think it would also be... I mean, the other half of that conversation is Cole is apparently talking to New Japan about a contract. He's also talking to WWE about a contract. So, I mean, those are his two choices, and half of that equation is directly involved in this show. So I wouldn't be surprised if he has maybe signed that he gets a win here and that carries over or something like that. But I'm going to go Tanahashi, too. I think the Bullet Club stuff might explode here, and because they're going to have to try to write that off sooner rather than later now. So we're going to have to see how they go about doing that. But ROH World Six-Man Tag Team title match. The Briscoes and Bully Ray defend against the Chaos contingent of Roppongi Vice, which, of course, is Beretta and Rocky Romero, and Hiroki Goto. I'm very much looking forward to this because the Chaos contingent has been awesome this year, and the Briscoes and Bully Ray are fun in these matches.
What do you think, Sean?
Hold on. I'm trying to... I will go with... Well, I mean, I don't think Chaos is winning these. Just because Roppongi Vice are already champions. Hiroki Goto's got his title he's going for. This just feels like something they set up because of the two promotions being in a joint pay-per-view here. This should be fun, though. Roppongi Vice have been on a roll lately. They've been having some good matches. It depends on what kind of Goto we're going to get here. But a Bully Ray Goto interaction, that should be some fun stuff. I'm kind of up for seeing that. But I think Briscoes and Bully Ray are retaining here.
This is hard. I mean, really difficult because of the fact that, I mean, it's fun to see Bully Ray and the Briscoes hold those titles, but yet, I mean, it's really not been that important, and they really have not acted like it was very important at all by not having them on many Ring of Honor TV tapings and things like that. So, you know what? I'm going to go Roppongi Vice and Goto.
I think it would be interesting to see an outsider team win a title here, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think Briscoes and Bully Ray retain. This is going to be an incredibly fun match, though. Roppongi Vice has been awesome anytime they've shown up on Ring of Honor. Beretta works his ass off, and I love Goto to death. So, for sure, champs retain here, though.
Yeah, and real quick, do we have any idea when the next show like this is, where they're mixing it up together, these two promotions?
Like New Japan and Ring of Honor?
Yeah. Because I know World of Worlds usually is pretty close to another show, right?
Not really. Like that. So they have Honor Rising, which is in February, and then they have these War of the World show, which they had the one in Toronto on the 7th. They have Dearborn, Michigan on the 10th. They have the one we're reviewing here on pay-per-view in Hammerstein Ballroom in New York on Friday, the 12th. And then they have the show the next night to do the TV tapings.
Okay. And that was my only question really quickly, was because of the fact that if I did pick the New Japan team coming out of this, I mean, I was wondering if there would be a way for them to lose those belts back to a Ring of Honor team sooner than later. So I'm staying with my pick. It makes me kind of question that. So
I mean, we've seen the Briscoes travel, and I wouldn't be surprised if New Japan has their eyes on trying to bring Bully Ray in too at some point. So, So it's very possible. Next up, the Young Bucks defend the tag team titles against the LIJ contingent of Tetsuya Naito and Bushi. This has fun written all over it too. I'd love to see Naito interact with the Bucks. The Bucks to retain for sure, but the match and what these guys are going to do in the ring is probably going to be something awesome.
Oh yeah, I cannot wait to see this, especially when you got the Young Bucks, double super kicking, Naito and his reaction and things like that's going to be hilarious and pretty fun to watch. So yeah, I'm with you. The Young Bucks are going to win this, but I can't wait to watch this one.
Yeah, Young Bucks are totally winning this. This should be a really, really fun match. What's Bushi being able to do some stuff against the Young Bucks and Naito, like you said, Gary, it's going to be all of the reactions from Naito about what happens with the Young Bucks doing stuff, and Young Bucks are winning totally.
Mm-hmm. After that, Marty Scurll will defend the World Television title against Matt Sydal. This has Match of the Year candidate written all over it, in my opinion. I think Sydal and Scurll will work very well together. Scurll, however, to retain, just because Matt Sydal's sort of free agent right now between both Impact and Ring of Honor and maybe more places than we're aware of. So, yeah, for sure, Scurll to retain, especially ahead of Best of the Super Juniors.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, and I think also, I hate to be trying to make the light of this or be funny, but I think Ring of Honor also looks at Sydal and his recent history with, incidents and being arrested in Japan and things like that. And I know it's just a TV title, but, they use the TV title for, some big players when it comes to their talent. So I think they want Marty Scurll to continue being their TV title champion.
Oh yeah, totally. Marty Scurll's got to look good. Like what Paul said, you don't know what the heck Matt Sydal's doing. Maybe he found the place, just like Cody Rhodes, and neither guy is going to choose Impact. Who knows? But maybe Sydal chooses Impact. We got to find that out. But yeah, Marty Scurll's going to win this. This should be a terrific match, though. I'm excited to see this one.
Yeah, for sure. And then after that, you only have the main event left as Christopher Daniels defends the ROH World title against Jay Lethal and Cody. Lots of stuff going on in this. Obviously, Lethal and Cody have unfinished business from the bull rope match, even though Lethal says he's done. Daniels wanting to prove himself, and Cody wanting to play upset. Who you guys got?
I think Christopher Daniels is going to retain here. I know Cody still hasn't totally made his choice yet, unless they're going to reward him here for some weird reason just because he's signed, which I don't think that's the right decision. I don't know that Jay Lethal is going to get a top. He could always a contender, especially after his big run. But I think Christopher Daniels should lose it to somebody that hasn't really had it before. And could really do something big for ROH that isn't Cody, just somebody that's more been in ROH for a while. Jay Lethal's kind of had his time. I feel like if Christopher Daniels is going to lose, it could be somebody that you're making this guy by having him beat Christopher Daniels.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why I'm picking Christopher Daniels too. I think that it's going to be a singles match. It's going to be someone that's up and coming, or it's going to be such a big matchup that, Christopher Daniels losing is not a bad thing, right? And this is also probably his last title, at least when it comes to the World Heavyweight title for Ring of Honor, last opportunity to do so. So it's going to count when they do it. It's going to mean something. It's not just going to be a drop the belt to just random people. I think it's going to matter, so... I go Christopher Daniels as well.
I could very much see them moving the title here because Lethal and Cody seems to be the feud that they want to go with. Maybe not at the top of the card, but certainly near it. And it's not like they need the championship. Although I do think it would be very interesting if Cody won the belt here, simply because not only does it keep the feud with Lethal going and gives that a whole new vigor, but could create some ruffles in the Bullet Club that might ruffle Adam Cole's feathers a bit more. So I think I only think it's going to go that way. I don't think Lethal's going to win the belt here, although I do think he has that championship coming to him sooner rather than later. So I'm going to say Daniels retains, but I'm looking at Cody pretty hard here as maybe the biggest dark horse to upset a champion on this show. So that's War of the Worlds. Like I said, it's Friday, 7 o'clock. Ring of Honor has been absolute money on pay-per-view this year. I don't see why this would be any different, especially when War of the Worlds is usually one of their best.
Exactly. I'm right there with you, Paul, and we can't wait to talk about it. So be looking for us to talk about this. We'll probably talk about this next Monday night. It'll be a lot of fun. We're excited about doing this. And, of course, check out all the other great content that we have, and we'll let you know where each of these things lay out. I think we'll be doing this for sure, reviewing World of Worlds on Monday night, though. But yeah, that's Ring of Honor overall for us. And boy, we've got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and we've got a lot of great shows coming your way. If you want to go check out all of our shows, don't forget to go check out W2Mnet.com. Also, don't forget to go subscribe to Wrestling to the Max. If you want to find all our review shows like Raw, SmackDown Live, heck, NXT, or 205 Live, you need to go subscribe now. Plus, if you want to get everything that the website has to offer, W2M Network, go subscribe there as well. Please go rate and review. That always helps us get the word out about our show. And, of course, go tell a friend. We've had a great night here. And sorry about me being maybe miscombobulated a little bit here. I am pretty worn out. Had a great weekend. And, of course, went and saw a great movie. Just super tired tonight for some reason. I need some more energy. And like Guardians of the Galaxy said, right, if I just, of course, if I had someone grabbing something between my legs, I would steer better too. So, anyway.
Woo!
That was such a funny line in the movie. I can't deny that, right?
No.
You don't remember that? I loved it.
No, I remember it. I'm just saying. I thought we were making a Gary After Dark reference again here.
That is true. We are.
You have people asking for that show, Gary. See what you did? See what you did there?
I know it's coming. It'll come eventually when I get enough material, or when I get spurred on.
The one show wonder that Gary's gonna have where it's all in one show.
It's gonna be really sensual. Trust me. So, anyway, guys, well, enough excitement for the evening. We have reached the climax of this show. We thank you so much for joining us tonight. And, of course, we will catch you guys tomorrow night for SmackDown Live, the review show, plus 205 Live. Until then, if you're not living life to the max.
Not living life at all.
You know it.
Please.
The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.